ProtectPB.com, and I get emails all the time about, Mike, how can I get better? So today what we're going to do is I'm just going to run you through a couple basic fundamentals of that you can use both in woods ball and X ball to make you a better player. First thing we're going to start off with is proper posture. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is that when you're running to the right, always make sure the gun is in your right hand. So when you're running to the right, make sure the gun is in your right hand. When you're running to the left, make sure the gun is in your left hand. That's going to kind of help us as we get into the sliding part, but I want to make sure that you can practice this at your house. When you're running to the right, gun is in your right hand. When you're running to the left, gun is in your left hand. First drill we're going to do today is hip sliding. This is probably the slide that you're going to use on a paintball field more than any other slide. We're going to get to the Superman slide here in a bit, but this one starts with a hip slide. Now, continuing on with what I told you about the gun being in your right hand, you run to the right, and the gun being in your left hand, you run to the left. What this does is, since the gun is in your right hand, you come in low and you slide on your hip when you go into the bunker nice and low. If you got your gun in your left hand, you're running to the left, you run, and you can slide on your right hip when you go into your bunker. Now, the worst thing you can do is if the gun is in the wrong hand, when you go to slide in, your gun's going to slap off the ground and you're going to end up breaking something. Now you come over here, gun is in the wrong hand, when you go to slide into your bunker, your gun's going to bounce and you're going to end up breaking something. Now I'm going to tell you right off the bat that one of the most important things to do before you start doing any sort of sliding is to do what I call the shake test. I like to kind of shake my gun and make sure that everything is on there securely. Make sure that your grip frame is screwed in properly, make sure that your reg is in there snug, especially your ASA. Make sure that your ASA is in there snug, make sure that your barrel's on, make sure that your loader is on, because if any of these things are loose when you start jumping around on the field, you're going to end up breaking something. You can strip tank threads, you can strip your tank out, so make sure to do what I call the shake test, where I shake my gun around to make sure that everything is on there securely. Now what we'll do here is we'll practice just a basic slide. Now when you're about to run, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get off your knees, or preferably you shouldn't even be on your knees, but as you're about to go to move from bunker to bunker, you want to go ahead and get on your feet, and then when you go to slide, you're going to slide on your left. As I'm running to the right, the gun is in my right hand, I'm going to slide on my left hip. Now what we'll do is as we run to the left, we're going to have the gun in our left hand, and we're going to slide on our right hip. So as I run to the left, the gun's going to be in my left hand, sliding on my right hip. Let's try it again. So as I run to the right, the gun is going to be in my right hand. I'm going to slide on my left hip, running to the right, gun in my right hand, sliding on my left hip. As I run to the left, gun is in my left hand, sliding on my right hip.
Go, go, go.
Got it on? Okay. I'm going to show you guys this, and I know it's not a pretty sight, but we got to cover it. Okay. Before you go and do a Superman slide, make sure that you have your slider shorts on. It's got groin protection. It's going to protect you when you slide in. Second thing, knee pads. You need them. Third thing, gloves in case your gun gets twisted, you don't rip your fingers off like I've done before. And of course, elbow pads. So you want to make sure that you have all of this before you even attempt a Superman slide. The most important thing about a Superman slide is to make sure that your palms are up. Now when you go to dive on the ground, the worst thing you can do is land on your knees. Your knees are about the last thing to hit. What you're actually going to do is you're going to keep pumping as you go down and land on your chest. So that's how you do a proper Superman slide. Make sure your palms are up and you land on your chest. So what we'll do here is we'll just practice it. See, my palms are up, my gun was protected, and I just slid in easily on my chest, not on my knees. The worst thing you can do is try to come in and hit your knees like this, and what's going to happen is you're going to end up getting bucked over the top of your head. me. Okay, now going into the snake on the left side is not going to be any different. You slide in, going in on your left side, gun should be in your left hand. Just like on the right side, going in on the right side, gun will be in your right hand. Now, Superman slides are dangerous enough as it is, so probably when you first start out, go ahead and start favoring the gun in your right hand, even if you're coming into a snake at this angle, just because of how dangerous they are. If you feel uncomfortable doing it on your right hand, you're going to definitely hurt yourself when you go over to do it on your left hand.
What's wrong?
Ah, knocked my mask up. Try it again. That's a little better. Review here on the torque loader, and so far today I've shot about a case through it. Haven't had any issues with it whatsoever. Actually been really impressed with it so far. So what we're going to do here is just kind of shoot it PSP 13 balls per second and just kind of give you a demo on it. More balls. So, I mean, as you can see, the loader works great. Basically, it kind of works like the pulse loader. Once you turn it on, it's just constantly trying to spin. But we haven't had any issues with it today at all. No hiccups, no jams, nothing. Comes apart in 2 seconds. So I'll definitely go out on a limb here and tell you guys, as far as I can tell right now, it's a solid product. This drill, I love doing this drill, especially with some of the newer players that are afraid of getting shot. Some of the beginner players, this drill, you're basically just trying to kill each other. What you're going to do is run towards run about probably 30 yards apart, and you're going to run and kind of go, kind of pass right by each other, and then you're going to turn around and come back while you're shooting at each other. Start out with a pot of paint, you keep shooting until you run out of paint. So it's almost kind of like paintball, but it actually works out to a pretty good drill, because as I run up there, I'm going to be shooting left-handed, and then when I hit probably about 30-40 yards up the field, I'm going to switch to right-handed and then come back the other way. Probably both of us are going to be covered in paint. Do this about 5 or 6 times. Not going to be worried about getting shot with paint anymore.